The lost years of Jesus. In the New Testament, the curtain of silence comes down on the life of Jesus after his 12th year, not to rise once more until 18 years later, at which time he receives baptism from John and begins preaching to the multitude. We are told only, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man," Luke 2 verse 52. For the contemporaries of such an extraordinary figure to find nothing noteworthy to record from his childhood to his 30th year is in and of itself extraordinary. Remarkable accounts, however, do exist, not in the land of Jesus' birth, but farther east where he spent most of the unaccounted-for years. Hidden away in a Tibetan monastery, priceless records lie. They speak of a Saint Isa from Israel, in whom was manifest the soul of the universe, who from the age of 14 to 28 was in India and regions of the Himalayas among the saints, monks, and pundits, who preached his message throughout that area and then returned to teach in his native land, where he was treated vilely, condemned, and put to death. Except as chronicled in these ancient manuscripts, no other history of the unknown years of Jesus' life has ever been published. Providentially, these ancient records were discovered and copied, in the Hemis Monastery in Tibet, by a Russian traveler, Nicholas Notovich. He published his notes himself in 1894 under the title The Unknown Life of Jesus Christ. In 1922, Swami Abhidananda, a direct disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, visited the Hemis Monastery, and confirmed all of the salient details about Isa published in Notovich's book. Nicholas Rurik, in an expedition to India and Tibet in the mid-1920s, saw and copied verses from ancient manuscripts that were the same, or at least the same in content, as those published by Notovich. He was also deeply impressed by the oral traditions of that area. In Srinagar we first encountered the curious legend about Christ's visit to this place. Afterwards we saw how widely spread in India, in Ladakh and in Central Asia, was the legend of the visit of Christ to these parts during his long absence, quoted in the Gospel. India is the mother of religion. Her civilization has been acknowledged as much older than the legendary civilization of Egypt. If you study these matters, you will see how the hoary scriptures of India, predating all other revelations, have influenced the Book of the Dead of Egypt and the Old and New Testaments of the Bible, as well as other religions. All were in touch with, and drew from, the religion of India, because India specialized in religion from time immemorial. So it was that Jesus himself went to India. Notovich's manuscript tells us, Isa secretly absented himself from his father's house, left Jerusalem, and, in a train of merchants, journeyed toward the Sind, with the object of perfecting himself in the knowledge of the Word of God and the study of the laws of the great Buddhas. This is not to say that Jesus learned everything he taught from his spiritual mentors and associates in India and surrounding regions. Avatars come with their own endowment of wisdom. Jesus' store of divine realization was merely awakened and molded to fit his unique mission by his sojourn among the Hindu pundits, Buddhist monks, and particularly the great masters of yoga from whom he received initiation in the esoteric science of God union through meditation. From the knowledge he had gleaned, and from the wisdom brought forth from his soul in deep meditation, he distilled for the masses simple parables of the ideal principles by which to govern one's life in the sight of God. But to those close disciples who were ready to receive it, he taught the deeper mysteries, as evidenced in the New Testament book of Revelation of St. John, the symbology of which accords exactly with the yoga science of God realization.